What's going on, guys? It's your boy Boxing Lowdown, and I'm back here with another Mythical Monday video. Now, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Feel free to drop a comment if you like, guys, and I'll happily get back to you. Now, let's get on to this week's fantasy matchup. Listen, this is a very good one. This would be an absolutely brilliant fight if it ever came across, but obviously it didn't, which is why we're talking about it here. And let's go to the featherweight division. The featherweight division always brought out some incredible talent, exciting fights down there. And, you know, the featherweight division has always been one of those popular divisions. It's not been the glamour division like a welterweight, like I said last week, or a heavyweight, or even a lightweight, or like, you know, middleweight, let's say. But the featherweight has churned out some brilliant fighters over the years. You've already got to look down the line at some of the champions that they've had. One of those is Erik Morales, who will be in the corner for this one. Now, the reason why I brought up Erik Morales for this particular fantasy matchup was because I was doing a Throwback Thursday last week, and it was, I think it was back in, 21 years to the day when he fought Kevin Kelly, and he just absolutely destroyed Kevin Kelly, man. And Morales, back in the day, he was a beast, do you know what I mean? He eventually moved up the weights, and he lost a lot of his powers there, but at featherweight, he was a monster, man. He had wins over Barrera, had wins over Pacquiao, had wins over McCulloch, Kevin Kelly. Do you know what I mean? Morales was just fantastic. I used to love watching him back in the day. And on the other corner, we've got somebody that we know very well. Somebody that we're all very, very familiar with, who we grew up loving. And probably a lot of us grew up like really wanting to be like those as fighters. But I'm talking about Prince Naseem Hamed. One of a kind, man. He was just a fantastic fighter. And he just brought the entertainment. He had everything. He had so much charisma, power in both hands. And he was just great for the game, you know, great during our time. Like I said, a lot of fighters today and a lot of people that grew up watching boxing, you ask who their favourite fighter was, a lot of them would say Naseem Hamed. Do you know what I mean? That's how much of an impact that he had on our game. So let's talk about this fight here between him and Erik Morales, because I could only picture that being a great fight. You know, I could only picture that being just an all-out brawl, you know, a shootout between two guys. Morales, he may not have that sort of one-punch KO power that Hamed does. You know, Naseem Hamed had some, you know, highlight reel knockouts during his day. But we all saw what happened when he stepped up in class and fought Marco Antonio Barrera. You know, it was a punishing defeat, losing so many rounds, lost a unanimous points decision, really got schooled on that night there. A lot of people thought that Barrera would go to war with Naseem Hamed, but he didn't. You know, he executed a perfect game plan, and he boxed Naseem Hamed's ears off, let's be honest. How would it go against Erik Morales, though? Because that was a fight that never happened, Naseem Hamed and Erik Morales. Erik Morales, he's another guy that tends to go out as an all-out war. You know, he tends to just really bring it. And, you know, most of the time he came out on top of those wars. Do you know what I'm saying? He had the great series with Barrera there. You know, they had a great trilogy, they did. And, you know, Morales, he was just a fantastic, he was a good technical fighter too. Do you know what I mean? He had a durable chin, and, you know, until he moved up later in his career. But back in the day, he had more of a durable chin at featherweight, and he was very strong for the weight. Do you know what I mean? Very strong at 126 pounds. So that would have been a good fight. I would pick Morales in this fight here between him and Naseem Hamed. I just think that he would have been too much for him. I think that he would have been a prime version of Morales. I think that he would have overwhelmed Naseem Hamed, man. I think Naseem Hamed's very easy to hit, got a leaky defense, but, you know, he could definitely drop Morales at the same time. I could see this fight being a back and forth showdown where both fighters have been dropped. But ultimately, I think that Morales' durability and his strength and his power probably would have just seen him through to the end there. And I would have had him maybe even, I don't know if I'd say stop Hamed, but maybe getting it on points. Maybe dropping Hamed enough times to win it on points. I think that Morales would have touched the canvas himself. But overall, I just think that Erik Morales might have been a bit too much for Naseem Hamed, especially going by that Barrera fight. Do you know what I mean? I know it's not always good to look at it that way and say that, oh, just because one fighter beat fighter B, you know what I mean, that means he'll beat fighter C. We know it doesn't always work like that, but I just think that, yeah, my gut is telling me that Morales would have the edge over Prince Naseem Hamed, but I think it'd be a great fight. I think it would have been a very entertaining fight, but Unfortunately, we didn't get to see it, man. After Naseem Hamed lost to Marco Antonio Barrera, he really just kind of went off the radar. I think he had one more fight after that against Manuel Calvo, I think it was, of Spain. And he really stunk the place out. And then after that, he just never came back. So going by that basis, man, and you look at Morales' resume at featherweight, it's hard for me not to pick him in this particular Mythical Monday matchup. But I do have to say it would have been a great fight. And I do think that Hamed would definitely have had his moments in that fight too. I think that he definitely has the power to drop Morales. But I don't think he has the power, and he didn't. I don't think he would have had enough to keep him there. So I'm going for Erik Morales in this one. I'd say probably on points, and I think that he would probably drop Naseem Hamed maybe more times than, you know, he'd be able to drop Morales. And I'm going to have Morales taking this one by unanimous decision. I was tempted to go for the late stoppage, but I'll give credit to Naz, man. He always found his way back up. So I'm going to say Morales on points. But let me know your thoughts about it in the comment section below. Who have you got for this week's Mythical Monday? And let me know any suggestions in the comments below, man. I saw Mr. KWX Ben, shout out to him. He put a comment there with some Mythical Monday matchups, but some fantasy matchups. I don't want no Mythical Monday matchups that could still happen. I want fantasy fights, you know, that we didn't get to see so we can talk about it. So let me know in the comments below, guys, and I'll catch you on the next video.